Thanks, Minister. And we'll hear from the Bureau shortly, but suffice to say emergency services are planning for a vigorous front across the state, impacting in Adelaide area later this afternoon into the early evening. Ahead of that front, we're likely to see severe thunderstorms and with that heavy localised rain, the potential for hail and localised strong winds. Of concern following the front will be significantly strong winds in a westerly direction, and with that will be commensurate risks associated with storm damage and the potential for trees down. We're also anticipating significant rainfalls, particularly across the hills and Adelaide Mount Lofty Range areas, and with those rainfalls that are currently forecast in the 50 mil to 100 mil range, we do have some concerns for our different catchments across the state. The emergency services, with our hydrologists from Juna and the forecasters from the Bureau, will be keeping a close eye on the Onkaparinga catchments, on the Angus and Bremer catchments, the Light and Wakefield catchments, River Torrens, and also the creek systems across the city, do have the potential for flash flooding and to break out of their banks. In terms of preparedness, the emergency services and other authorities are well prepared. We have a high level of readiness across the sector. State control centres for the two fire services and the SES are fully activated 24/7, and we have regional coordination facilities activated 24/7 across South Australia with the CFS particularly and SES. We've been working cooperatively with other government agencies to ensure that respective areas of the community are prepared, and you'll see across government media and public messaging sites that there are a number of measures in place that will have minor impacts on the community, including the closure of some parks. There'll be some disruption to ferry services and the like. I think it's important moving into this event that the community continue to heed the messages from various authorities, particularly emergency services, about staying safe. If you are in a flood risk area, it is important that you take time and spend some time and energy and resources preparing your properties and yourselves should you need to relocate from your property. We're continuing to distribute sandbags and sand across a number of depots that are owned by councils, the CFS and the SES, and I'd encourage those people who feel they're at risk to avail themselves of those resources. It's really important once we get into the event that people are mindful of their personal safety. I want to reiterate the Minister's messages about staying safe on the road. With these sort of conditions, there are a number of hazards that motorists need to be aware of. First and foremost, with heavy rains, there's very slippery conditions, and there's also the propensity for low visibility up in the hills and in other areas. Also, we have the risk of trees down and other damaged infrastructure, including power lines. So drive to the conditions, and it's important that you take it easy on the roads. Driving through floodwaters is a big risk. This winter we've had a number of rescues in South Australia from vehicles that have become stranded, and we've seen a number of vehicles wash down creek systems. So as the Minister has advised, it's really important that motorists think carefully about their travel routes. If they come across a flooded culvert, flooded creek or a flooded bridge, don't drive through it. Okay? Too many times poor decisions lead to very tragic outcomes, so please stay safe out on the roads. Finally, the emergency services and volunteers are to be commended for the level of preparedness, and I'd like to commend the community on their proactive preparedness and the level of awareness that we appear to have. It seems to me that we're in good shape. We've planned for the worst and we can hope for the best. I'm going to hand over to the Bureau to give us a bit more of an update on the outlook.